Members of the ANC from all branches across the region of Lejweleputswa met on Friday to raise their concerns and frustrations on developments taking place in the region. The media briefing follows after a petition to the IPC and the National Office of the ANC to deal with forever ongoing challenges facing the organization within the region. The African National Congress in the Lejweleputswa region has been a center of attraction for manipulation, raping of processes, paging of comrades, forgery, incompetency, and bad ethics. Herewith, Mr. Shimo Mahlatsi takes us through to the agenda of the day.
Legally tempered with to serve certain factional interests and personal interests. Some BGMs in the region were convened and ran like 10-minute show where a list of candidates were read and all members asked if they agreed or disagreed with the list. Some community votes were run without the ballot papers. Some voters were intimidated by other candidates not to come to voting stations to cast their votes. In other areas, candidates were intimidated to withdraw their participation. Other branches could not even start with their BGMs, whilst others were waiting for community vote. It was not surprising in this region to see areas where a branch is waiting for community vote, but candidates were hand-picked without consultation with WTTs or the DECs. This is exactly what happened in 2016, but now the situation has worsened. Examples. In case of Lejweleputswa region Ward 7, where the BGM was held inside the bedroom of a sponge EFF member with less than 15 people. Here, the list of 4 candidates was decided to. The IPC intervened, the process of community vote were rerun, but the fraudulent ones are the ones recognized by the region and represented to IEC for registration. The rerun, even which was recommended by IPC, was not recognized. Same here in Lejweleputswa, Councillor Matolo, who was removed as a mayor, is on top of the list. It must be noted that the same Councillor Matolo has taken the ANC council to court. Another case is a case in Masilonyana, sub-region Ward 5, where 7 members met and declared themselves as the BGM. Nominated candidates among themselves. Another one got 4 votes and another one got 3 votes. That the ballot paper was done by the region with such a scenario. The community vote was called, and in the community vote, the voters' roll was not used to confirm eligible voters. Another case is a case in Machabe sub-region, Ward 13, where the BGM was run without the attendance register, and the community vote was done without the voters' roll to identify eligible voters. On the community vote, members were intimidated not to come inside voting station to cast their votes. Another case is a case in Nala sub-region, Ward 9, where members were still registering. Another member came relating and singing that the BGM is over without forming quorum, and other members being on the queue at the gate to come and participate in the BGM. The PLC ruled in the visual meeting that there should be a rerun of the BGM, but the letter from the PLC rejected the objection. Another case is a case in Tukuluho sub-region, where members who are not residing in the ward participated in the BGM without meeting a threshold. They were declared candidates of the ward. The details of the candidates who won the community vote was not sent in, but a certain member's details who was not voted by the community was declared a candidate. PR processes were interfered to by the current mayor, where all members who were nominated by the branches were not appearing on the list. There are few cases of many manipulated processes in the region. Members of the ANC and the public have called for priority and probity and lifestyle audits, particularly for mayors, speakers, chief whips, MMC, and ordinary councillors who are alleged to have been involved in wrong acts. This has not found expression. The community of Solopile, Masilonyana, Nala, and Machabeng have called on their mayors to step down. The ANC has brought stability and hope in the community of Solopile and Masilonya by calling mayors to step down. This was not done for anyone's favor, but to restore the dignity of the ANC and to boost the confidence of ANC voters. Truly, there were facts that led to the removal of those mayors. Same facts were found in Machabeng and Nala, but nothing has been done to the untouchable mayors who are alleged to have been involved in acts of wrongdoings. The Auditor General and the MEC for Hokta report as a point of reference. ANC voters in Machabeng and Nala are crying of poor service rendered by the municipality through peaceful protests and violent protests, yet nothing has been done so far. The mayor of Nala municipality and Machabeng municipality should be removed for incompetency and being unable to render quality services to the people. The mayors are a high risk for ANC to get majority of votes from voters. The ANC might lose many votes if this type of characters still remains in their position as mayors when approaching elections. On organizational matters, the last regional conference of Lejweleputswa was 7 years ago in 2014. In 2019, the REC was disbanded for failure to take the region to the conference due to lack of branches and lack of performing other organizational duties. After the disbandment, the same REC was turned into RTT. The RTT mandate was for 6 months, that it must take the region to its conference. Since 2019 till today, the RTT was unable to take the region to the conference. As members, we are of the view that the problems of all local government elections are brought by the same RTT. The RTT coordinator and the convener are at the center stage of many controversies in the region. Clearly, there is no RTT in the region. It is our view as members that it was illegal for the RTT to have been allowed to run local government election processes since their mandates, as both the REC and the RTT have long lapsed. We call on the REC, we call on the IPC to appoint a complete new RTT to prepare branches for the elections of new REC. We call on the IPC and the NEC members to accept these facts that might affect the ANC badly if not dealt with. The ANC should always be the hope of the people. The ANC should at all levels root out factionalism, disunity, manipulation of processes, paging of other members, incompetency, and unethical behavior. We request the leadership of the ANC to deal with such tendencies, and members of ANC in the Lejweleputswa region of Free State. Thank you very much.
When asked about the call for Machabeng Mayor Nkosinjani Spillman to step down, Mr. Mahlatsi addressed that the matter is currently in process as it is in the hands of the IPC in which it will make the ruling for the removal of the mayor. He also alleged that there are rumors that the mayor might be recalled from the office.
I think the first question deals with the call for the mayor to step down. As the branches of the Lejweleputswa or Machabeng, we've written letters as branches and requested the African National Congress to recall the mayor of Machabeng. I think you will recall in our statement that it is also Nala sub-region where branches as well have written that the mayor for Nala should step down. I must indicate that the IPC is in the process to deal with such a matter. But we must indicate we have heard rumors that the mayor might be recalled. It's fine, we don't have a problem with that, we'll be happy as the branches of the ANC. But The concern is that if the mayor is recalled, somebody from national parliament would be recalled from national parliament to come and act as a mayor. We want to disagree with that particular move.
For Kasi Voice News, I am Thomas Letoba, reporting live in Velco.